All right, so today we are diving into The Blade That Seeks.
Ooh.
And this one is going to be a wild ride.
Yeah.
Because we're talking magic, mystery, vengeance,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
And you know what's really interesting about this one is it kind of subverts those tropes
Right.
in a really clever way.
I completely agree.
Like you think you're getting one thing and then...
It takes a hard left turn.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
So at the heart of the story, we've got this trio. Uncle Gelade, who's your classic scholar, Aunt Clotilde. Now, her magic is,
A little unpredictable.
to say the least.
Yeah. Loose cannon.
And then their nephew, Galwin, who's a soldier, capable guy, but way out of his depth in this story.
Yeah, he's definitely in over his head.
And what sets them off on this whole adventure? A missing heirloom.
Right. A gold medallion with a dark red gem.
Belonging to none other than the king.
Who at first seems like a pretty sympathetic character.
Oh, yeah. Just wants his family heirloom back.
Exactly.
So off they go to Utoa Island.
Classic quest locale.
Oh, yeah. Swaying ships, bickering siblings, your average family vacation.
Except with more ancient curses and deadly traps.
Always a good time. And it's during this journey they run into this character, Dortok.
Dortok the bandit.
Yeah, he's got information, though.
He does. He's like a one-man information booth. Points them towards a creepy mausoleum.
Which, spoiler alert, it's not going to be a relaxing spa day.
Not at all. More like a death track around every corner.
Eerie statues, cobwebs everywhere.
Enough to make anyone nope right out of there.
And this is where Aunt Clotilde's magic comes in handy. Remember how we were talking about unpredictable?
Oh.
Sometimes chaos is exactly what you need to survive.
Exactly.
But then comes the real twist. They find a body senator, the king's former advisor.
Dead from poison.
Not your average theft anymore, right?
Definitely raises the stakes.
Makes you wonder if Senator knew something he shouldn't have.
It's definitely possible. And it makes you question the king's motives even more.
Because remember, folks, this is just the beginning. Things are about to get a whole lot more complicated. So last we left our intrepid trio, they'd found a poisoned advisor in a creepy mausoleum.
Yeah, things were not looking good for anyone involved.
And it's only going to get more intense from here.
Oh yeah, buckle up because we're about to dive into some seriously wild territory.
So picture this Galwin's exploring the mausoleum, right? Comes across another sarcophagus.
Because one creepy coffin just isn't enough.
Yeah. Right. And inside, he finds a young man clutching this incredible black blade.
This, my friend, is our introduction to Retaliator.
Okay, Retaliator. Like a supervillain name almost.
Basically, yeah. But even scarier. Imagine a weapon imbued with a single-purpose revenge.
Okay, that's pretty intense. So this isn't just some random enchanted sword.
Oh no, this is next-level magical artifact. We're talking about purpose swords here.
Purpose swords? I'm guessing there's a story there.
Oh yeah, a whole history of ancient magic, powerful rituals, things that would make your hair stand on end.
I bet. And of course, Galwin being Galwin, he can't just leave well enough alone, can he?
Nope, he's got to touch the blade.
Which never ends well in these stories.
Never. What happens? It's like the sword wakes up.
Wakes up, literally.
You ever get that feeling like something's watching you? Like a presence in the room?
Yeah, I get that sometimes late at night in the studio, actually. It's kind of creepy.
Well, multiply that by 1,000 and add ancient magic. That's what Galwin's dealing with.
Yikes. Okay, yeah, not great. And suddenly Galwin's not herself anymore.
Not even close. His voice gets all deep and echoey, starts talking about ancient wrongs and vengeance.
Like he's possessed or something.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's the sword's influence. It's this whole thing about free will.
So is Galwin in control at all, or is he just a puppet for this Retaliator sword?
That's the million-dollar question.
Oh, right.
And the story doesn't give us easy answers.
I bet, because next thing you know, Galwin's back at the palace.
Marching right up to the king with Retaliator in hand.
Oh, no. Talk about awkward family reunions.
And talk about a plot twist. Remember how the king seemed like the victim at first?
Yeah, poor guy just wants his family heirloom back.
Well, suddenly he's on the defensive. Accused of a crime he hasn't even admitted to.
I'm sensing some serious family drama here.
Oh, yeah. This is where all those secrets start bubbling to the surface.
It's going down. So we've got Galwin all hopped up on sword magic, and the king who's clearly hiding something.
And this is where the story really starts to unravel.
Yeah.
Because the king, he's got his own share of secrets.
Like what? Spill the tea.
We're talking about his youthful appearance for starters.
Yeah.
Turns out that's not just good genes.
Wait, seriously? He's using magic to look young.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just a little touch-up either. We're talking centuries of magical maintenance.
Centuries! This guy makes Dorian Gray look like an amateur.
Right. But it gets even wilder. Remember that young man in the sarcophagus? The one clutching Retaliator?
Yeah, I'm guessing there's a connection.
Big time. Turns out he was the original owner of the medallion. And Vortrix, the king. He wasn't just some random ruler. He was the young man's brother.
Brother? So the king murdered his own brother for the throne.
And the medallion. And probably some magical bragging rights, too, knowing this guy.
So here we are, the final showdown. Vortrix the Master Manipulator is finally exposed.
And he is not taking it well.
Not at all. In fact, he's pretty much losing it.
Right.
All that magic keeping him young, it's unraveling faster than a cheap sweater.
And to make matters worse, Clotilde's in trouble. Remember how Vortrix used his magic to knock her out?
Oh yeah, that didn't look good. She's in bad shape. And with Galwin still under Retaliator's control, it's all up to Uncle Gillard.
Talk about pressure. One wrong move and it's all over.
But Gillard, being Gillard, he's got a plan, maybe. Or at least a theory. He's been studying that second medallion, the one Vortrix was so desperate to get his hands on.
What's the verdict? Is it just a fancy paperweight or is there more to it?
Way more. It's the key to everything. The missed piece of the puzzle.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
So remember how Vortrix has been using magic to stay young for centuries?
Oh yeah, like a magical fountain of youth situation.
Exactly. Well, it turns out that power, it's all tied to the medallions. The one he's wearing and the one Gillardi found.
So if Caleric can activate the second medallion,
he might be able to break Vortrix's hold on his stolen youth. And hopefully free Galwin from Retaliator's influence. But there's a catch, of course.
there's always a catch. What is it this time?
The medallion. It's got this hidden mechanism. A trigger stone.
Trigger stone. Sounds complicated.
It is. It's this tiny little stone hidden within the medallion setting. Almost impossible to find unless you know what you're looking for.
And luckily for everyone, Gellard is like a walking encyclopedia of ancient lore.
Exactly. He figures it out, finds the trigger stone, activates the medallion, and just like that, Vortrix starts to age, like, rapidly.
It's like watching a time-lapse video, but in reverse.
Talk about instant karma. But while everyone's distracted by Vortrix's rapid aging, Retaliator makes its move.
Oh no, I'd almost forgotten about that vengeful sword. What happens?
It turns on Niguan, the captain of the guard, the very guy who just struck down Vortrix.
That's brutal. So much for poetic justice.
Right. It's like this dark reminder that some forces, once unleashed, they can't be controlled, not even by the people who wield them.
It makes you think about the cyclical nature of revenge, doesn't it? How it consumes everything in its path.
Absolutely. And that even with the best intentions, sometimes our actions have unintended consequences.
It's a powerful message, and one that definitely stays with you long after you finish the story. It makes you wonder, is vengeance ever really worth the cost?
That's the beauty of a story like The Blade That Seeks. It's action-packed, sure, but it also makes you think about justice power, the choices we make.
And the consequences of those choices.
Yeah.
It doesn't shy away from the tough questions. If anything, it embraces them, leaves you with more to ponder than when you started.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into The Blade That Seeks, a tale of magic mystery and the dangers of unchecked ambition.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
Until next time, happy reading.